It's me.
Can you believe that, man?
The last word.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Last word.
Really. And the Philadelphia 76ers, no, the Philadelphia Eagles have signed Jalen Hurts to a $255 million contract. And of course, 179 of that is guaranteed, which averages about, if you're just doing the guaranteed money, about $60 million a year. And if you average out the full contract, it is on average $51 million a year. Right? But we're saying to ourselves, probably after the third year, after all the guarantees eaten up, they're probably going to re-up Jalen Hurts on another 3, 4, 5-year deal, whatever it is. But Jalen Hurts has now got his money. He's now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Does this change the way the Baltimore Ravens now will deal with Lamar Jackson? Is there any more leverage that Lamar Jackson gets due to the signing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Philadelphia is just a different beast. The way they think football, speak football, the way they coach football. I'm sure if Lamar Jackson was in Philadelphia, he would probably getting the same money as Jalen Hurts. It's just Philadelphia recognizes, a football player. I'm not sure what's going on in Baltimore. I'm not saying that they got to give him the full bag, but what Lamar's done in comparison to Jalen, it's crazy that Lamar is still unsigned to the max. Now I get it. Jalen led his team to the Super Bowl and whatnot, and probably has shown more durability in his first 3 years, I guess. But he's just coming off ankle surgery. So that's also could be a red flag. But I don't think it changes Baltimore's approach to Lamar. I think they want to maybe see Lamar go through a full season before, because they don't really have to pay him. He's still in his 5th year, and I get it. Injuries happen. So I think they're just playing the hard game with Lamar. But eventually I think they'll come around. But Philadelphia.
That take is kind of interesting because it brings up a previous conversation I had here with Chiron. Whose body of work do you think is, or whose resumes do you think is more impressive, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson's? Because we've been talking earlier, and from our conclusion, Chiron wants to give justification to Jalen Hurts' contract, $255 million. And he won't give justification to Lamar Jackson commanding substantially a higher amount of money. Now, in your personal opinion, who has a better body of work? Is it Jalen Hurts or is it Lamar Jackson? Has Lamar Jackson done enough to deserve that big contract that he wants?
Well, like I said, he's been in the league a bit longer. His record is phenomenal. I mean, he's already passed over 12,000 yards. He has like over 100 TDs. His last couple of years, he hasn't been durable, so maybe that's why ownership has been like, but he still played like more than 12 games, So I just think it's the ownership and where he is situated. This guy's always had a chip on his shoulders. He got drafted last in the first round of his draft class, and he was like a Heisman Trophy candidate or a Heisman Trophy winner. Can't remember, but him coming out of Louisville, he should have been top 15 easy. I think some of the quarterbacks in his draft class, some of them are not even in the league no more. So for whatever reason, there hasn't always been a belief in Lamar. I just say that he just sticks the course. And, get representation, bro. Like, you can't have your mama there for everything. And if he had a full agent by now, I think he would have got paid. But I get it. You want to keep everything in the family. But I think some of it has to do with his agents. And that's why guys get agents, because agents will break the bank. And when you have your mama or someone that's not official as a legit agent, then you're in a dilemma like this. So body of work really doesn't have nothing much to do with it because they're both great quarterbacks. I just think that him having a lack of a real
representation
agent has, stopped that money flow. To be honest, you can't go to the bargaining table with your mama. It just it can't happen.
um, again, we've seen in the NFL numerous players sign contracts without agents, right? The reality is they just won't allow a face of the league to sign a large deal without an agent. All right, you gotta pay at each step in this world, right? The same reason they don't let you become a doctor without going to university or whatever, blah, 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 right? You gotta pay to play, right?
You gotta pay to play.
However, yeah, obviously that plays a part, the lack of an agent. So I see that really hampering his ability to really get out there and speak to other teams and find trades. So again, a lot of the buzz that wasn't around him, this high end talent. But as we were speaking before, Jalen Hurts was given this contract for a few reasons, right? Again, his age, all right, his production,
right,
and his results, right?
Lamar,
right?
Lamar. Yes.
And that franchise has no doubt, right, that this is a guy that we want being the face of our franchise. Again, we can all say what we want, and again, Lamar's character is unquestioned. He has no issues. He's come back every year, improved his game, but again, it's not the package that I'm sure GMs close their eyes and envision as their face of the franchise, right? So you put that along with the agent, all right, and along with, again, you're butting heads with this franchise. So there's egos involved in that, and I think you have the perfect storm of why Lamar is not getting the payment that we saw Jalen Hurts get.
Well, whatever the reason is why Lamar's not getting his money, we hope that he's able to rectify it and get something quick, because right now, the way it looks, he doesn't have any leverage. I think that he will be playing on the franchise tag this year. He'll have to prove himself. Next year, he'll be making substantially a lot more on the franchise tag, because I do think they're going to franchise tag him again. And because they are that rude, they will just let him walk for free. That's what I'm thinking. They're going to take 2 more years from him, and I think they'll just let him walk for free. Paul B., you can take the last take on that.
Yeah, I mean, all points are valid there. Like I said, you look at the franchises that have been staples in the NFL. Deshaun Watson got his paper in Cleveland. Jalen Hurts got his paper in Philadelphia. Even though, think of what you think of them, Dak even got paid. Cowboys, these are staples when it comes to the NFL. And I think Baltimore, they're just more of a conservative type of organization. And getting back to what was said earlier, you don't want to set that precedent if you don't have good representation, right? There's a reason for agents out there. So you got to play the game to get paid. And I'm hoping for the best. I hope he comes out and, all he needs to do is just get his team to either the conference finals or the Super Bowl and stay healthy. And trust me, he'll get paid more than Jalen any day of the week.
Well, that's a question mark right there. I don't share the same sentiments on that one. I think that you'll have another 2 years. You'll probably cash in about maybe at a $75 to $100 million, maybe incentive base. But I think that's it for Lamar, man. Because I don't think put it this way. After another 2 years, I think that a team will look at Lamar and say, I think your best days are behind you, right? So we'll see.
And you know what? I'll just say this. The draft is coming up. Depending on how these quarterbacks come into the league and play this year, that also could be a telling tale, right? Because the last couple of years, quarterbacks have been able to come into the league and light it up. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, that guy from the Chargers.
Jock Purdy.
Purdy was but what I'm saying is if Baltimore feels they can move on because the quarterbacks that have been coming out in the last couple of years, that might be another thing too. Why pay a guy when we could keep our eye on someone?
And that's what that's where I'm looking at it. Like, look at Baltimore's history with quarterbacks. I mean, the biggest name that they have is Trent Dilfer. So that's saying something. And they didn't really pay him all too much, did they?
You can't let him walk for free, though. You gotta, if this is the last year, you gotta find a deal. you that asset you got to get something for it.
Well, we want to thank Paul B for joining the show. It's always great to have you, and we are looking forward to having you again. Always a pleasure. And Kyron, this is the last word. You want to have the last take because this is
I got to give Paul B a quick shout out because he's a better man than me. All those nice words he had for the Philadelphia Eagles. As a Dallas supporter, I won't fix my mouth to make any nice words for Dallas or the Eagles. They both suck. Giants next year. Let's go.
And that's the last word. Same time.